from the beginning to the end, teaches us how to speak to Him. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawm Ad-Din, Iyaka Na'budu, Wa Iyaka Nasta'een. It is you alone who we worship. We. It's not Iyaka A'budu or Iyaka Nasta'een. You know, even if you're praying furada, even if you're praying by yourself, you still have to address Allah and say it is you alone who we worship. So in Surah Al-Fatiha, you address Allah as a member of a community, not as an individual. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Many of the recommended supplications that we recite in our qunut, we use the pronoun we. We use the pronoun our. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana. Our Lord. Not Rabbi. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana. Wa fil akhirati hasana. Wa qina. And protect us from the hellfire. If you go to the end of the prayer, the taslim, what do we say? As-salamu alayna wa ala ibadillah as-salihin. Not as-salamu alayya. You send peace upon us. You see yourself as being a part of a community. Why does Islam place so much emphasis on community? Why is it? Why didn't Allah just say, listen, everybody for themselves, you just focus on yourself? Why is there this encouragement to see yourself as a part of a community? To strive to build a God-fearing community. Do you know why? Because righteous people, because righteous communities produce righteous people. Wicked communities produce wicked people. It's easy to produce righteous people when there's a good community. And you're going to see deviation. You're going to see misguidance when the community is not healthy, when it's fragmented. You know, when you look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet was a very gifted leader, because the Prophet was doing two things at once when he began his mission. The Prophet had two main tasks. Number one, to educate and enlighten individuals. So the Prophet was training individuals. But what made the Prophet unique was he wasn't only focusing on building individuals. He was also working on forming and establishing a community. You're not a good leader if you're just developing individuals. The Prophet was doing both, enlightening and training individuals and forming a community. Which is why the first thing that the Prophet does when he arrives in Medina is what? Because Mecca was survival mode. The Muslims were just surviving in Mecca. The first thing that the Prophet does when he sets foot in Medina, in Yathrib, is what? He establishes brotherhood between the Muhajirin and Ansar. So creating this sense of community, that you have to take care of one another. And then the second thing that he does is what? He builds a masjid, which is essentially what? A community center. He was doing both. He was elevating the spirituality of individuals, and he was building the sense of camaraderie, of belonging. And when you look at the Quran, there's an interesting verse in the Quran, and where any community that I go to, I mention this verse. Because I can summarize the history of every Shia community that I've been to. We start off with one masjid, and then there's mitosis. You know, ever heard of mitosis? Right? We break up into two. And do we stop there? No. Mitosis again. We break up and we break up and we become so fragmented. And we do it for a number of reasons, mashallah. We're very creative at creating division, right? Sometimes we create divisions based on our ethnic backgrounds. Sometimes we create divisions based on whether, you're an elder or a youth. Sometimes we create divisions based on the marajah that we follow. Can you imagine that? The marja'iyah, which is supposed to be a source of our strength and unity, we're using it to do what? To break up the ummah. That this masjid is for the followers of this marja', this masjid is for the followers of that marja', and that's what we do. And there's a verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 114. Do you know what Allah says? وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَن يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ. You have someone who's zalim, who's an oppressor, and you have someone who is adlam, who is the most oppressive. The most oppressive person is the one who prevents people from coming to the masjid. Now, preventing someone from coming to the masjid, وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا, who ruins the mosques. Ruining and demolishing a mosque doesn't mean that you get a sledgehammer and you start, knocking down drywall. Ruining a masjid means what? That you make people feel unwelcome. That it doesn't feel like Baytullah anymore. It feels like this is a country club that belongs to a certain group. Or it belongs to this group of people or that group of people. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَن يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ. How oppressive are you that you have made the house of God a place that people don't want to go to anymore? Because you put your own interests ahead of the interests of the community. وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا, and you're working. You think you're doing good, but you're destroying the community. وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا. When Allah speaks about Masjid al-Haram, which is the most sacred mosque, look at how Allah describes it. إِنَّ أَوَّلَ بَيْتٍ وُضِعَ لِلنَّاسِ. The first house that was erected is for who? It's for people. It's Allah's house, which means it belongs to the people. We have to create an environment of tolerance. We have to be welcoming. We have to have patience with people. You know how many times, and I've seen this with my own eyes, sometimes someone comes to the masjid, and it's a brother that has earrings, right? As if you walked in the masjid with a rocket missile, right? People come to him, and they push him away. It's not your house. If he walked into your living room, yeah, you have a right to kick him out. But he came to the Baytullah. You have no right to push people away. We create these suffocating environments. That's why a lot of youth, they don't want to come to the masjid. That's why when we hold events, we have to hold them at a gym, at a rec center, because we've created very toxic environments.